So there's a few comments on my last video, one in particular, basically saying, I can't beat the market, so I buy VOO. And this video is not an argument. It's not like even like a angry rebuttal to those comments. It's more so like I feel like there needs to be like a clarification on what the market actually is. So first of all, thank you for all the comments, even the ones that like had a disagreeing tone, whatever. I want all of them. That's the whole point of a channel like this, is discussion and, you know, talking about things that we all are passionate about and love, which is personal finance, investing, whatever. So thank you for the comment. Please keep leaving comments like that. But I felt like I needed to clarify because I think some people thought that I was like trying to time the market or buy, you know, like not trusting the whole market. So I'm buying VT, and like it couldn't be farther from the opposite of the truth. So for anybody that doesn't know what the market actually means, I'm going to break down what VOO is and how you get to buying the whole market, which is not VOO. So VOO is the 500 of the largest U.S. large cap companies. So that covers only about 80% of the U.S. stock market alone, right? So VOO is roughly 500 companies. Yes, they're the biggest. So if you're looking at it from an equity lens or a market capitalization lens, it's about 80% of the market cap of the U.S. But if you buy VTI, which is the all of the U.S. publicly traded stocks, it's about 4,500 stocks in total. So right there alone, when you're buying VOO, you're not even buying the whole U.S. market. You're buying, you know, a large portion of it, but not the whole thing. So from right there, you're not buying the whole market. Now, let's pretend somebody buys VTI and they're saying, oh, well, I just buy the market. You buy the U.S. market, but VOO is not the whole market. VTI, which is all publicly traded stocks inside of the U.S. stock market, roughly make up 60% of the total global market by market cap. So what that means is if you're buying VTI, you're buying 60% of the market, but not the whole market. VT, which is kind of the main, I don't know if I want to say sales pitch or main point that I was making in my first video, was that VT is actually buying the whole market. And when I became a Boglehead investor, what I understood after reading a few of his books, specifically the Little Book of Common Sense Investing, where he doesn't even recommend buying VT, it's kind of a logical conclusion, whatever, I don't want to go down a rabbit hole on there. VT is actually buying the whole market. No timing, no decision making, nothing. I am buying every single publicly traded stock available and weighting it by market cap. That's what VT does. And VT automatically adjusts. So if US outperforms, VT adjusts. If international continues to outperform, which it has the past year, VT will adjust towards that. I am doing zero timing. I'm not making any decisions. It is the most agnostic form of investing possible. Maybe target date funds would be in there because those, you know, glide path into bonds, but specifically just for equities, stock trading, VT is by far the most passive form of investment. I would make the argument that buying VOO is a slightly active form of investing. And so what do I mean by that? Like, obviously, I'm not calling somebody that buys VOO in their 401k and their Roth IRA and buys and holds until they retire as an active trader. Okay, that's not what I'm saying. But you are making a decision. You are saying, I only want to buy 500 of the roughly, you know, call it 10,000 for easy, you know, it's 10,000 stocks globally. I only want to buy 500. Now, those might be the best 500, sure, but it's one country out of 48 countries, and in that one country, it's, you know, 10% of the stocks. So you're not buying the market. And to kind of clarify this one step further too, the reason why I don't only buy the U.S. stock market is because there's a few examples throughout history you can look at, but the one that is usually talked about the most is Japan. So in the 1990s, Japan was roughly 40 to 45% of global markets. And at the time, the U.S. was 30, 33%, you know, give or take, depending on when you look at it. And for those who don't know, you know, Japan was like all the rage. Their stock market was soaring. They were, you know, obviously they were a large portion of the global markets, but the stocks tanked in the 90s. There was a bubble that popped. I don't even know exactly what caused it to tank. I just know that it happens. And Japan stock market has only recently hit the peak from the 90s. Like, it was within the past few years, I believe. So if you were in Japan stock market this whole time, you would have just gotten back to where you were in the 90s. Now, am I predicting that for US markets? No, not at all. Is it likely to happen to US markets? No, I still don't think that. But I want to be diversified out from that. And even if it did happen, somebody might make an argument like this. Even if it did happen in the US stock market, where it tanked significantly like that and didn't bounce back for 20 years, obviously international would be affected somewhat. But we've seen periods where U.S. stocks have not performed well, like specifically, around the real estate crash in 2008, and international has still performed well. So there is a slight correlation. Like, obviously, if the world's leading economy struggles in their stock market, that could have some effects elsewhere, but it's not a one-to-one. That's been proven. It's not an exact correlation. So I just want to get this video out there. This one's obviously more of like a ramble. There might be some points I made multiple times, whatever. Usually when I make a video, I have some bullet points to keep my train of thought coherent. This was more of just a ramble video because while I was making my video for I was going to choose my next 3 stocks, I got another comment along the lines of, oh, I'm just buying the market. I buy VOO. And again, I'm not mad at those people. I think it's a great decision, but you're not buying the market. That's all. That's the whole thesis of this video. Keep buying VOO if you like it. If you trust in those companies, keep doing it. It's just not the market. That's it. Thanks for watching. I appreciate your time as always.